at niggas like I was duck hunting, dumbing out just me and my crew, cause all we wanna do is.
Hip-hop has always been built on battles, lyrical wars that pushed MCs to sharpen their skills, defend their turf, and sometimes even change the entire culture. Some rivalries burned quick, some lasted for years, and a few ended in tragedy. But not all of them get remembered. Tonight, we're digging into the forgotten rap battles that shook hip-hop to its core. From the smoky clubs of Harlem to the bright lights of the mainstream. From freestyle showdowns to label wars. These aren't just beefs. They're turning points in the history of rap. This is Hip-Hop Lore, and here are the top 15 forgotten rap battles that changed hip-hop.
You don't even exist. He thinking that he could casually walk away with 10 G's like I ain't clenching my fist.
By the mid-2000s, battle rap was moving away from freestyle ciphers in parks and toward structured events with real audiences, judges, and cameras rolling. At the center of this transformation was Fight Klub, a grimy NYC basement venue where careers were made and destroyed.
No felonies. See, yo, you might be Eiht on 106 in Park, but better than me, though, you'll never be.
Jin, fresh off his 106 in Park run and signing to Rough Riders, entered Fight Klub with an aura of invincibility. He was the poster child for freestyle supremacy, known for witty improvisations and sharp cultural references. But in 2005, Serius Jones stepped up with a new style, razor-sharp punchlines delivered with calculated crowd control.
10 rounds, watch me, make you the laughing stock. Half your block in Jersey will deny that they know you F.
The battle didn't just hand Jin a rare loss, it signaled a new era. No longer was off-the-top freestyling enough. Audiences wanted heavy-hitting, premeditated bars crafted for maximum impact.
So you thought your flow had cancer? Well, welcome to chemotherapy. See, this ain't nasty.
Serious's victory represented a turning point. Battle rap was evolving from spontaneous rhymes to theatrical, competitive performance. That shift laid the groundwork for today's URL, KOTD, and international battle leagues.
Like Wilson, nigga, pick it. I'ma do this. He can't get with me, yo. You better kick some shit that's.
Before YouTube clips, before URL stages, there were underground festivals like Scribble Jam, where MCs tested themselves in front of hardcore hip-hop crowds. Two names rose above the rest: Supernatural and Juice.
It's like this, one time, yeah.
Supernatural was a freestyle savant, capable of weaving entire verses around objects handed to him on stage. Juice, equally sharp, balanced technical rhyme schemes with biting improvisation. Their clashes at Scribble Jam in the late 90s weren't just battles, they were showcases of hip-hop as a living, breathing art form.
I'm actual. Here's a super dope nigga. This is supernatural. Tell you ISIS on the mic.
What set their rivalry apart was mutual respect. Neither was destroyed, neither faded into irrelevance. Instead, they pushed each other to legendary status. Their battles became folklore, whispered about in tape trading circles, and later immortalized online.
It's like Wilson, nigga, pick it. I'ma do this. He can't get with me, yo. You better kick some shit that's.
For the freestyle tradition, these encounters proved that improvisation wasn't a gimmick. It was poetry in motion, and it deserved to stand alongside written verses in hip-hop's hierarchy.
I'm happy to know, tape don't sell, still get a stack for an O, 5 for a half advance money, brick it.
Few battles are remembered as vividly as the day Cassidy faced off with Rockefeller's Freeway in a Philadelphia studio. This wasn't a staged event, nor was it set up for fans. It was raw, unscripted competition, label politics meeting street pride.
Your strip, matter of fact, take your strip, make it flip. When you gonna realize that the flow don't stop.
Cassidy came prepared with an arsenal of polished punchlines, weaving wordplay and metaphors with clinical precision. Freeway, caught off guard, asked for a beat to help him ride the rhythm, an infamous moment that only amplified Cassidy's dominance. The tape of this battle spread like wildfire, establishing Cassidy as one of the fiercest lyricists of his generation.
Place, put the Mac in your face, nigga, guns don't mean a thing if you ain't.
But beyond the humiliation factor, this clash redefined what an a cappella battle could be. It showed that a prepared rapper with cutting bars could dismantle even a charting artist, and it brought the Philadelphia battle tradition into national spotlight. Cassidy walked away with a reputation cemented in history, while Freeway absorbed a hard lesson in the ruthlessness of lyrical combat.
Nigga that shot dice went broke and so the thug that pop shit, the thug that pop clips.
Long before social media feuds, the 50 Cent versus Ja Rule war redefined what a rap beef could do to careers. What began as street tension in Queens escalated into one of hip-hop's most destructive rivalries. 50 Cent used mixtapes as his battlefield, dropping relentless freestyles and parodies aimed at Ja Rule's credibility. Meanwhile, Ja Rule, once a chart-dominating hitmaker with Murder Inc., fired back with his own disses. But the damage was already done. 50's arrival not only cut into Ja's dominance, but also shifted the sound of mainstream rap. Hardcore authenticity, delivered with mocking humor and relentless aggression, now ruled the airwaves. Tracks like Back Down and the infamous Hail Mary 2003 remake dismantled Ja's tough guy persona.
These cats always escape reality when they rhyme. That's why they write about bricks and all.
Ja responded with songs like Loose Change, but his image never fully recovered. By the mid-2000s, 50 had ascended into superstardom, while Ja Rule's reign was over. The beef was more than personal. It marked the end of one era of commercial rap and the beginning of another.
I was a Kinko's, making copies of your covers of cassette singles.
You was unsigned hype before.
Not all rap battles are between artists of equal footing. Eminem versus Benzino was as much about power and media as it was about bars. Benzino, co-owner of The Source magazine, publicly attacked Eminem, accusing him of being an industry plant who exploited black culture. Eminem responded with surgical precision.
Go ahead, stop calling my phone, Jimmy. He leaving messages saying, please leave him alone. Fuck that. And don't forget.
Tracks like Nail in the Coffin and The Sauce tore Benzino apart, mocking his limited influence as an artist and his reliance on magazine clout. The lyrical blows were brutal, but what really shifted the culture was the underlying narrative. Could hip-hop's most powerful publication take down its biggest star? The answer was no.
Fucking joke, if you was really selling coke, well then what the fuck you stop for, dummy? If you slew some.
Eminem's fan base only grew stronger, while The Source's credibility suffered lasting damage. The beef highlighted a new power dynamic. Artists could fight back against media institutions with music and win. It wasn't just Eminem versus Benzino. It was Eminem versus an establishment that tried to control hip-hop's narrative. In the 1990s, Bone Thugs and Harmony had already carved their lane with rapid-fire, harmonized flows out of Cleveland. Meanwhile, Memphis's 3-6 Mafia were pioneering horrorcore beats, dark atmospheres, and a triplet-heavy cadence that would later echo through trap. The two camps clashed over accusations of biting styles. Bone claimed originality for their sing-song, double-time flows, while 3-6 Mafia pointed back to their own early underground tapes. Diss tracks like Live By Yo Rep from 3-6 Mafia and Bone's lyrical responses turned the stylistic debate into a full-fledged feud. What makes this battle critical isn't just the disses, it's what followed. Both groups pushed their respective styles forward. Bone went on to become Grammy winners and mainstream staples. 3-6 Mafia kept building their Memphis sound, which decades later would influence everyone from Gucci Mane to Migos.
If you know what this game would do to you, been in this shit since 92. Look at all the bullshit I've been through.
The so-called feud over flows foreshadowed how regional sounds could clash, compete, and then spread globally. Compton had birthed some of hip-hop's fiercest voices, but when blood and Crip affiliation spilled into rap, the battles carried deadly undertones. DJ Quik, a Blood, and MC Eiht, a Crip, clashed in one of West Coast rap's most enduring feuds.
What you wondering? Yeah, that's not why you change your fucking pension up. But bitches like you know, bro.
Quik's Dollars Plus Cents became one of the sharpest diss tracks of the 90s, with surgical attacks on Eiht's credibility and delivery. Eiht countered through features and subtle digs, and their crew's street ties kept the beef simmering beyond wax. But what makes this battle remarkable is its conclusion. By the late 90s, as hip-hop reeled from the East Coast-West Coast tragedies, Quik and Eiht buried the hatchet. They even collaborated years later, showing that peace could be reached even after one of the most venomous rivalries. This feud wasn't just about two rappers. It was a snapshot of Compton's divided streets and a rare example of reconciliation in a culture where many wars end unresolved. This video is sponsored by the Lore Store on Amazon, your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside the Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials. Headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe, roots and lovers. Rock made easy, automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore, classic rock must-haves, open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore, feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves, punchy bass without the muddle, closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low end, plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s, 90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music, and the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs. Hands-free at home? Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert! If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description, pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live.
The original. Evacuate the building, bitch. Here come a plane. No, it's the mad-ass West Side Connect gang.
When Common released I Used to Love HER in 1994, it was framed as a metaphor for hip-hop's decline into materialism and violence. But many on the West Coast, especially Ice Cube, saw it as a direct shot at gangsta rap. Cube responded first through subliminals, then more aggressively with West Side Connection, aiming to paint Common as soft and dismissive of the culture.
I have no fear, afraid of what, and with my peers I'm coming up. Fools talk real.
Common fired back with The Bitchin' You, produced by Pete Rock, a blistering takedown that matched Cube's aggression bar for bar. The beef was eventually squashed, reportedly with help from Minister Louis Farrakhan, but it left a permanent mark.
Fuck moving, I'm clearing the crowd. It's that who banking bandana criminal now, the original.
It showed that the so-called backpack rappers could stand toe-to-toe with hardened gangsta voices, and it raised the bar for diss writing in the 90s. The Bitchin' You is still studied today as one of the best written diss tracks of its era.
Turn it into a certified sinner. The bomb I released, time pin up.
The late 90s saw one of the most high-profile lyricist-on-lyricist clashes in hip-hop. It started innocently enough. Canibus, the up-and-coming punchline king, spit a guest verse on LLCoolJ's 4321. A line about borrowing the mic tattooed on LL's arm was taken as disrespect.
Yo, how many rhymes you got? I could go on for more millennia. The Mazda's got on a car lot, and there's nowhere to...
LL responded by rewriting his own verse on the song to jab at Canibus, a move that sparked a back and forth that spilled into wax. Canibus dropped second round KO with Mike Tyson in the video, framing it as a generational battle. LL hit back with The Ripper Strikes Back, flexing his veteran dominance.
That shit'll finish you, dog. Believe that. Where we at? Do you value your life as much as your possessions? Don't be a stupid.
While Canibus earned cult respect, LL ultimately won in terms of mainstream footing, but the clash left its mark. It was one of the first rap beefs to truly be hyped in real time by radio, video channels, and magazines, showing how beef had become part of hip-hop marketing. It also proved that no matter how legendary, no MC was immune to being tested. Long before the mainstream embraced Nicki Minaj or Cardi B, women MCs were carving out space in a male-dominated battle culture. One of the fiercest early rivalries came when Antoinette dropped I Got an Attitude and was accused of jacking beats and styles from Light's crew. Audio 2. MC Eiht responded with 10% D's, a ruthless lyrical takedown that made it clear she wasn't to be trifled with. Antoinette fired back with Lights Out and Who's the Boss, but Eiht kept the upper hand. This feud was more than personal, it was symbolic. It showed the world that women could spar with the same venom and technical skill as men. Eight's dominance in this battle solidified her reputation as one of the greatest MCs of all time, and it opened the door for future women in hip-hop to take battles seriously, not just as sideshows, but as career-defining moments.
Innovate on a higher level. I'll be back,
but for now, just sackle.
The Bridge Wars were more than just a series of diss tracks. They were the first great borough war in hip-hop history. It all started with MC Shan's The Bridge, a record celebrating Queensbridge as a hip-hop hub. To many listeners, it sounded like a claim that hip-hop had begun there, not in the Bronx.
Wax rhymes, I get fed up. Rappers like a setup. A lot of games, a lot of suckers.
Enter Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One, and DJ Scott LaRock, who dropped South Bronx as a fierce rebuttal, making it clear that the culture's birthplace wasn't up for debate. What followed was one of the most famous chains of responses in rap history. Shan's Kill That Noise and KRS's iconic The Bridge Is Over.
I'm the artist, often new concepts and their hardest. Yo, cause I'm a teacher, and Scott.
Beyond the back and forth, this battle mattered because it set the blueprint for how hip-hop handled territorial disputes. It wasn't just about who had the best rhyme. It was about defending pride, history, and community.
It ain't about money cause we all make dollars. That's why I walk with my head up.
For KRS-One, it launched a legendary career. For Shan, it created a legacy that still defines him. And for hip-hop, it proved that music itself could be the battlefield for cultural geography. Before Shan and KRS, before Dre and Eazy, there was Roxanne Shante, a 14-year-old from Queensbridge who took on the entire industry and won. UTFOs. Roxanne was already a hit, a lighthearted track about a girl who wouldn't give them attention. Shante responded with Roxanne's Revenge, a fiery freestyle recorded in a single take. Her record exploded, sparking what became known as the Roxanne Wars. Dozens of Roxanne answer records flooded the market, from the real Roxanne to countless knockoffs. It was the first true rap phenomenon of its kind, where a single battle spread into a nationwide frenzy of response records.
And I'm going to tell y'all something. One of the main things is we need.
What makes Shantae's role so groundbreaking is not just that she was a teenager or a woman in a male-dominated culture. It's that she proved skill could topple hierarchy. Without a major label push, without industry backing, she used nothing but her wit, sharp tongue, and microphone to change the game. The Roxanne Wars showed that in hip-hop, anyone with talent and nerve could rewrite the script overnight.
Before you pull it off, you thought Mr. Pitiful. Here's some mouthwash, G. Your breath smells like my...
Every culture has a moment where the rules change forever. For hip-hop battles, that moment came in 1981 at Harlem World, when Kool Moe Dee challenged Busy Bee. Busy Bee was the archetypal party MC, funny, crowd-pleasing, heavy on call and response. He had the charisma, the presence, and the audience on his side.
Swallowing. Who in the hell told you that you could do what you was doing? Raise up, son, I need jock relief.
But Kool Moe Dee brought something new. Sharp, pre-written rhymes aimed directly at dismantling his opponent. When Moe Dee unleashed his verses, the crowd shifted. It was no longer just about who could hype a party. It was about lyrical skill, clever wordplay, and direct combat. The tape of that night spread through the city like wildfire, inspiring the next generation of MCs.
This is me and you head to head. Let's go. Here we go. Beat down.
This wasn't just a battle. It was the birth of modern battle rap. From that night on, the stakes changed. Being an MC wasn't only about rocking a crowd. It was about outsmarting, outwitting, and outrhyming your peers. Busy Bee took the loss, but hip-hop took a leap forward.
Let you slide, let me ride, just another homicide, yeah, it's me, so I'm a...
Few beefs carry the raw intensity of Dr. Dre versus EazyE. Once brothers in arms as part of NWA, their fallout became a bitter war that spilled across records, labels, and the streets. When Dre left Ruthless Records for Death Row, the split wasn't clean.
Wow, 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 yippee yo, yippee yay, doggy dogs definitely in the hells.
On The Chronic, Dre and Snoop dropped Dre Day, a vicious takedown of Eazy, mocking him as weak and outdated. Eazy responded with real motherfucking G's, firing back with his own proteges and accusing Dre of betrayal and image manipulation. This wasn't just rap beef, it was a war for the soul of West Coast hip-hop.
So, Tim M.U.T., your bark was loud, but your bite wasn't vicious, and them rhymes you...
Ruthless had built the foundation, but Death Row was rising as the new empire. The tension between Dre and Eazy embodied the growing pains of hip-hop's transition from raw street beginnings to full-scale industry power.
Step on up and remember the name, Mighty D.R.
Tragically, before they could ever reconcile, EazyE passed away in 1995. For fans, the Dre vs. Eazy feud remains a reminder of how quickly camaraderie can turn into combat and how personal battles can become cultural earthquakes.
But front for me to start something, bugging and bucking at niggas like I was duck hunting, coming out just me and my...
At the top of the list is the most infamous rivalry in hip-hop history, one that transcended music and spilled into tragedy. Tupac and Biggie began as friends, but after the 1994 Quad Studios shooting in New York, where Tupac was ambushed and believed Biggie had knowledge of it, trust shattered. Pac fired the first direct shot with Hit 'Em Up, a song so venomous it remains the most notorious diss track ever recorded. Biggie, for his part, responded more subtly with Who Shot Ya?, a record Pac took as a taunt. What started as lyrical warfare was amplified by media, labels, and street politics, ballooning into the East Coast-West Coast rivalry.
Up in accent sidekicks with my sidekicks, rockin' fly kicks. Honeys wanna chat, but all we wanna know is...
Magazines stoked the flames, radio spun the disses, and fans picked sides. By 1996, the tension had grown bigger than the music itself. The result was devastating. Both Tupac and Biggie were murdered within 6 months of each other, leaving the culture reeling.
Brand Nubian shit beating down punk.
To this day, their rivalry serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of how hip-hop's competitive spirit can inspire brilliance, but also how external forces can twist it into destruction.
Next, see my jets. Said he had beef. I can't say that I knew from the prop if I had my piece.
The journey doesn't end here, hip-hop warrior. Watch this next.